what's he talking about? But yeah, been a crazy 45 minutes or so. We've been trying to go live for about an hour now, and gotta love technology, right? But anyways, I wanted to hop on. I was planning on hopping off right about now, but I'll stay on for about probably 30 minutes to an hour with you all here this evening, or overnight, I guess we should say now. We are officially on the last day of 2023. Hopefully you guys have had a great holiday season and whatnot. Man, I got to pull up all my windows again and everything now because I reset my entire system thinking that there was something going on with the laptop maybe. But we're just going to kind of, overall, I just want to give you guys, I always like to do this from time to time, just kind of not really go in with a, goal of the stream or goal of the video. Every video and stream, for the most part, it has some type of like goal to teach you guys like one specific thing. I kind of just wanted to go live real quick this evening just because, I'm not very tired for some reason. And like always, I got never ending amount of work to do and all that stuff. Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Seth. So, and yeah, of course, we just got never ending work to do. So just going to be kind of doing a couple things. One thing I haven't really hit on a lot lately is MailChimp. We've been using MailChimp most recently the last couple of weeks. I've actually had MailChimp for a while, been paying for the premium version for like a month or two now, and just recently finally started getting everything figured out. I had to chat with their support to figure out why my SMS marketing wasn't working. Like it wasn't letting me send anything to my contacts. I had to go through and re-upload everything to like show proof that, or not show proof, but for their system to register that, hey, these are text message capable, like these are cell phones essentially that we can send messages to. And that's another thing too. I'll do a whole video kind of just detailing MailChimp for you guys, because like I said, I know I haven't hit on this like at all, but in terms of kind of like free marketing, or not free, but very, very cheap marketing, even if you don't use MailChimp, there's other ones out there like Sendinblue. I think they were just bought out by somebody recently, but Sendinblue is another really good one that's pretty cheap as well. MailChimp, if I recall, we're paying like $20 a month, and that's for email and text message marketing, somewhere around $20 a month. And, it's more so applicable to those of us that have a customer base, or you at least have leads, right? Either leads or past customers, things of that nature, where you have a clientele that you can retarget, if that makes sense. Of course, if you have no contacts, no emails, no phone numbers, things of that nature, then a service like MailChimp really isn't going to make sense for you, right? But once you start getting up over 100, 500, 1,000, etc., different contacts, not customers necessarily, but contacts, that's why it's so important whenever you set up your website to have a form. Trying to get mine pulled up here. Here, we can just go to the shortcut, I guess. Come on. It's important to use some type of form software that, keeps track of every single form. I just deleted one of our recent forms, but you can actually literally go in there and take a look at every single, form that's been in there. And also, speaking of which, trying to get off these people's information, utilizing that with a tool like Zapier, where what we have now, what'll happen is, I don't know why it's turned off. I need to get that turned on. Both of them, or no, this one at least. I didn't finish it. That's why I was messing with it last night. So what'll happen here, we can go ahead and take a look at it, is we're setting up a Zap here for whenever a form has been entered. Yeah, I actually have it set up already, so I don't know why it's not turned on. But my point is, Formidable Forms is who we use for our forms on our website. So, when you pull up our actual website here. And by the way, of course, if y'all have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to shout it out in the chat. as well. Let's see. How and when did you set up your website? I know you were working on it a couple streams ago. Probably the one thing I'm worried about, to be honest. Yeah, so you can do it yourself, to be honest, if you're willing to kind of watch a lot of hours of, videos and things of that nature on how to do it. I would use WordPress specifically, and some type of theme within WordPress. For example, this website here, which, by the way, is not, what's going on? Why is my keyboard not working? Let's go ahead and exit off of that. This website here that I created for you guys, actually, keep in mind, I threw this website together like super quick. Like, it's not some high-end website or anything, but this is an example of something that, one, is practically free. I'm using Hostinger to host it, which is something ridiculously cheap. I want to say like $5 a month if you pay for a year up front. And pretty much outside of that, I'm not paying for anything. I already have Formidable Forms, which allows you to use like 5 accounts on their pro version, which means like 5 different websites. So I just used one of my, now I'm using 2 because Preferred Pest Management uses one, and now this website uses one for forms. And like I said, this is just one that I threw together really quickly. Obviously, yours is going to look more like my Preferred Pest Management website, once you do what you need to do to get everything set up. But like I said, I threw this website together on WordPress in like 2 hours one night. I created this whole header, which I plan on actually cleaning this up. I hate that there's like an ad in the header. It's like a horrible setup. And these pop-up ads, they're annoying as hell. I know that I have like Google ads or something, or not ads, but was it AdWords, AdSense, something like that on here, but I didn't realize like the magnitude of ads that they're putting on the website. Like, it's ridiculous. But, for example, like this page here, I threw up this morning. It took me like 15 minutes to throw this quick page up. It links to some of our YouTube videos, and, you have your contact form, some stuff, this and that and the other. But my whole point is, if you want to set it up yourself, you can set up a website on WordPress relatively quickly and very cheaply as well. Go back to our Preferred Pest Management website. Let's see, probably one thing I'm worried about. Why is it in Spanish? What was it in Spanish? Was I missing something? Were you talking about my Preferred Pest Management or the griffinbthomas.com? Neither one of them. The ads. Yeah, who knows? As for the ads are off the walls. I know they're supposed to be targeted technically, but I don't recall the last thing that I looked up in Spanish or anything like that. So definitely not the most. Whoever is paying for that ad is not getting a good ROI. Needs to narrow their targeting down. But once you put in the time and effort, you could definitely have something very similar. I will say, for our overall theme, and when I say theme, I mean specifically like the header, the footer. Scroll down here towards the footer. This footer setup. Now, I did create this like map, like a service area map, using what's the tool called, like Google My Maps or My Maps Google, something like that. You can create one of these and embed it on your website. You can put it really anywhere. I just wanted to put it in the footer specifically because that way it'll show up, of course, at the bottom of every web page. But the overall like footer, header, pretty much that was created by Gorilla Desk specifically. Everything else on here, I've been doing it all. Oops, I need to edit. Apparently this form is not here. I'm glad I took a look at this because this is my home page. We're going to go ahead and edit that real quick while we're on here. What was I saying though? Yeah, like Gorilla Disc made that, and in my opinion, like even that's not really necessary. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's nice that like I'm not having to go in there and like create my own theme, use another theme, this, that, and the other. But to have Gorilla Disc just create the theme for you and kind of like set up the website, stage it for you, and all that stuff, it's like I want to say $750, something like that, maybe even more. It's been 2 years or so, roughly. I want to say around 2 years since they created the theme of the website for me. So let's see. There we go. Square footage of your home, zip code. Yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I mean, if you put enough time into it, you can definitely, do it yourself. And this is my overall second or third website in terms of preferred pest management that I've had. The first one I had was a Weebly website, which is like Square, because you can create a website using Square now. I don't know if this is even updated. You can use Square now to like create your own website. It's just very limiting. Doesn't have a lot of like SEO options or anything like that we want. Okay, so that's there now. And WordPress, just in my opinion, is kind of the overall best one. Could you do an in-depth video on your equipment? Interested in what you use compared to the company I work for. I like the automatic backpack sprayer. Yeah, I actually just did. I mean, I guess it was more so just the wildlife side, kind of. I did like a little, at least I think I did, if I remember right, recently. My other truck, we switched it to just a termite and wildlife truck now, at least as long as we're going to have it, essentially. And I did like a little, little video on kind of just the overall setup, and I'm trying to think. I think we did a video. Yeah, we did actually earlier this past spring. I did like a just pest control truck video. I'm trying to do better too about like anytime I've done a video 6 to 12 months or even further back, just going through and kind of recycling that content. Back when I first started doing YouTube, like 6, 7, however many years ago now, 7 or 8 years ago, it was actually a big no-no to do that. But I've even noticed a lot of like the really big content creators that I watch are doing it, or they'll take like a clip of the video and repurpose it, like that kind of thing. So I'm going to start doing that here and there for you guys as well, just because of course I know that. And it makes sense why YouTube kind of allows it now, because as your audience grows, they're not going to see necessarily every video that you post. So if there's a video that you think, people can still benefit from, go ahead and post it again. It gives that newer audience, a chance to catch up, so to speak, without having to like scroll back through all your videos and all that stuff. But yeah, I could possibly do an update. I'm trying to think if it'd be worth doing an update or if we are pretty much using the same stuff. But in terms of just a quick rundown of just my day-to-day, what I use on the truck for like general pest control, we have a Flow Zone backpack. We have 2 B&Gs on the truck right now, one for non-repellents and one for repellents. Of course, we have like a tote that can be locked up for like our overall like chemical. The primary chemicals we're using right now are Lambda 9.7, Taurus, what else? Of course, Termidor HE for termite, but that'd be on the termite wildlife truck. What else? Niban for like a granular bait as needed. Of course, different types of baits for roaches and ants. Advion ant gel, Carpenter ant gel bait. I actually just recently, one of you guys, I think it was Kristen in our Discord group chat, mentioned that what is it? Vendetta. I didn't realize too, MGK is the creator of Vendetta. They have like 2 or 3 different types of baits for roaches. I went ahead and went with the Nitro, I believe, was the type that I purchased. In the past, I'd use like Avion cockroach bait, but I wanted to go ahead and try that because she mentioned it has an IGR in it, which I thought was pretty cool for, German roaches specifically. So that, and then of course glue boards and things of that nature. And then 3 5-gallon jugs for water on top of that. I do not use B&G, surprisingly. Yeah, I don't really use it super often. It's mostly for like commercial accounts, new starts that want the inside kind of touched up. Like 1 gallon in my B&G, depending on how many commercial accounts I'm doing and if they're German roach cleanouts. Do I have any German roach cleanouts? That kind of thing. 1 gallon of water on a average week will be just fine for me. Sometimes even 2 weeks for my B&G, especially for my repellent, if I'm remembering. Yeah, my repellent, because my repellent is usually either Lambda 9.7 or Onslaught Fast Cap, and the only times I really have to use that is like sometimes like homes that are further out in the country, new developments where there's a lot of spiders, where we're going to want to use some type of microencapsulated chemical. That's where we would, utilize that the most. Some companies like using Delta Dust. Don't even get me started on Delta Menthrin. But yeah, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, this is something that you will want to do very early on. Even if you're not using something like Formidable Forms, whatever, that's the beauty of Zapier. Zapier connects to like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of different applications, plugins, websites, things of that nature, to where it'll pretty much connect to anything, and it makes it where you're not having to do a bunch of code and all this stuff. So for example here, trying to click on it so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So what'll happen is when someone puts in a new entry, you'll hit continue, and they hit continue again. So when they submit a contact us form, continue, you'll see it'll even show an option of one. You just continue, and then from here, scroll down some more. All the different information that you can put in there. Of course, you have to go in there and select it. So for example, send subscriber to MailChimp. You'll have email, existing, update existing contact if there is an existing contact. Of course, you want that as yes. I'm going to have to go in here and update this because the SMS phone number. Let me do this again. Action. So see, we got the email in here. Update existing, yes. Tags. Let's see. Form submitted on website for the tag. For the name. And like I said, you're all going to get to watch it real time here, kind of how it works. So for the name, you'll just hit that. We don't need the address and all that stuff. Phone number for MailChimp, you don't need to worry about, but you do need the SMS phone number for the SMS marketing, which was actually the issue we'd ran into that the account specialist helped us out with. We had filled it in for phone number, but to be able to send SMS text message marketing, you need to have the phone number entered in here where it says SMS phone number specifically. So I was like, man, that is super confusing, but it makes sense now. Oh, no way. It used a form where she didn't even put the phone number. But since we know the phone number is right there. Right? Phone Test problem. That's weird because I could have swore there was a phone number on there. Phone number, continue, test. There you go. So it worked. Publish. And then voila. So now anytime somebody from our homepage specifically, because it's using the contact us form specifically for dark backgrounds, which what I mean by that, whenever I labeled that, it's more so for whenever I'm like creating a page on our website. This laptop or this keyboard that I got is being super delayed. So what I mean by dark background is you know, anytime there's white letters, it just means that it's a contact us with a dark background, which is on our home page, most important one. So that's the first zap that we created for that. So now anytime someone submits a form on there, that's going to go directly over to our MailChimp. So if we go over now to what, audience or all contacts, let's see, tags, you could already see where she was already entered in there. Let's see, form submitted on website, view, and her contact should be in there, even though she was already in here, just to see that it did in fact work. There you go, right there. And see, I'll put in the SMS phone number, form submitted. And there you go. Last change, 2:04 a.m. Eastern, 2 minutes ago. So yeah, everything worked as it should. Perfection. So yeah, I mean, that's a quick example right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to title this contact us dark background to MailChimp. And then from there we can go back, and I don't know why it's saying that that's not, oh, because I hit back instead of like going home. Yeah, there it goes. Now it's live. And the cool thing is you can have up to like 5 live zaps at a time before you even have to start paying for Zapier. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. And like I said, it makes it where there's pretty much no coding done at all on your end, which makes it beautiful. Use max force impact. Roadkill bait works like a charm. We don't use Delta Dust, however we use Dryone, which is made with a natural insecticide. Huh. It's worked very well. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. Or have I heard of that one? Dryone. I don't think I've heard of that one. Let me look it up really quick. Come on. How do you spell that? Dryone. I feel like I've seen this before. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I've seen this before. I thought I remember seeing it, but very similar, like you said. Pretty similar overall. I did not know it's natural. And hopefully too the stream quality is doing all right for you guys. I see we got a few of you tuning in so far, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far this evening. If you are, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel out, helps other people that are looking to start and grow their business, start or grow their business, I should say. Find the channel, find the live stream, all that good stuff. And if you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to shout them out in the chat. Tonight's stream specifically doesn't really have like an organized theme per se, like focusing on one specific thing. I'm just kind of going through some little tasks essentially. I've already done pretty much everything I needed to do for the day. I just figured I'd hop on here, for a quick half an hour to an hour with you guys. I don't even know how long we've been on here now. Doesn't even tell me. Probably have to check that. Yeah, I have no idea how long we've been on here so far. I guess about 30 minutes, right? Because it's about a quarter till 1 a.m. Central. Let's see. Who's to say I haven't already? Chance? Oh, talking about liking the stream. Yeah, I see we got like 1 like already, 1 or 2 likes. So, I appreciate y'all liking and all that good stuff. Liking, sharing, all that good stuff. I guess, let's see. Take a look at some stuff. Up to 33% higher click rates. Targeted segments. Open rate 47%. That's a pretty damn good open rate for an email. Click rate, which means clicking on the link within the email, 6.6%. That's not too bad either. Only 2 unsubscribe. That's not bad. Let's see. I wanted to try to figure out. Oh, you got a publisher. Oh, that's because this is under websites. Duh. About 25 minutes. Yeah, I figure we've been live for about half an hour. So yeah, that's one thing I do like about this is anytime you send out either email, text message, whatever the case may be, you can actually go in here and like look at the overall report. Let's see. Had an estimate the other day. Got there at 9:30 a.m. The woman was telling me how she was an alcoholic. Sorry. Gotta love those. As you can guess, it went nowhere. She also didn't own the building. Shocker, right? Yeah, you gotta love those. Those are the one. That's where like you'll over time too. Says so, which if I remember right, you don't own your business yet, so you probably had no control over this. But once you like start your own business, you'll kind of learn pretty quickly on the phone, especially because if I remember right, like you're a salesman specifically, so you'll catch on very quickly that you can filter a lot of that out with your kind of, I call it the pre-customer hazard assessment, where a lot of people be like, man, you spend a lot of time on the phone with a customer. Because if I were to, I should probably do that sometime actually, pull up CallRail and see what my average time per phone call is. But if I were to break everything down, I bet my average phone call is anywhere between 8 to 15 minutes. Just because, I'm a lot of times quoting over the phone I try to limit time wasted as much as possible, even if it means that I may close slightly fewer sales. It's it's a constant balancing act, right? But more so important than anything, like the situation you had, is, getting all those questions out of the way immediately. That way you're like, man, like, whew, dodged a bullet there. Almost wasted 30 minutes to an hour of my life, right? Because you think, oh, it's just 30 minutes to an hour. Well, we've only got 24 hours in a day. You're going to spend 5 to 8 of that sleeping, sometimes 3 or 4 if you're like me. But, from there, you've only got between 16 to 20 hours left to fit everything in. And you'll find out really quickly that, like, every 30 minutes, like, it adds up very quickly, which is why it's so important, too, to try to get a technician and, outsource all the work and stuff as quick as possible to start buying your time back, of course. But, let's see. You're a tech and you give quotes. That's right. I knew you had something to do with the sales. I just didn't remember if you were a salesman or a tech. I basically do it all. Definitely a great experience. Yeah, no, those are the best. And that's the one thing that I was always grateful for when it came to my, like, time at Terminex was, even though, like, in the moments, I would be like, I hate this effing job, this and that. Looking back on it, I tell people all the time, if you can get into a job, as ironic and crazy as it's going to sound, if you can get into a job, regardless if it's in the pest control industry, plumbing, HVAC, I always use service businesses as a whole because that's what a lot of people are starting right now, especially one-man show, because they're usually somewhat easy to get into in terms of capital requirement, and there's a huge shortage of a lot of us right now. Like, there's not a lot of service. There's not a lot of people in the Gen Z, millennial, etc. generation who are willing to do these type of jobs, so it's opening up a lot of big money doors to people like us that are willing to do so. But I digress. Man, where was I even going with that point? Can tell it's getting late. Oh yeah. If you can get in a company, as crazy as it sounds to this lazy generation, if you know that you want to start a business, like I said, regardless if it's pest control, plumbing, HVAC, chiropractor, I don't care. It doesn't even have to be the service industry. Like, it could be any type of business. If you find a job where you're kind of forced to wear all the hats, or maybe not all the hats, but the more hats, the better, because that's going to be just one less skill that you're going to have to acquire, once you start on your own. So you're doing all this learning and you're getting paid to learn on top of that. Where once you're out on your own in the business world, like all this stuff with email marketing, Google ads, building websites, this and that, like, you're not getting paid to learn that crap. If anything, you're paying people to learn it. You're paying with your time. So, the more, like I said, it sounds completely backwards to most people in this generation, because we live in a generation of, oh, that's not my job title, or that's above my pay grade, that's below my pay grade. Like, just all this negative at the end of the day. Like, and I got caught up in it too. We all do. You have your coworkers and stuff, of course, who just constantly beat the victim drum about, oh, I can't believe they're making me do this. I can't believe that, this, that, and the other. It's very easy to get caught up in that negative talk and doubt and this and that in general. But like I said, if there's one thing that I look back on in my time at Terminex is I learned practically how to run a business to a large degree, run a pest control business, because at Terminex, as a technician, they had you, your day literally started from the moment you got in your truck, really from the moment you opened your eyes, because you had just like I do now, you had a work phone, you had your personal phone, and from the moment you woke up and you took a look at that phone, there were, callbacks, cancellation requests. Terminex would even go as far as their system was put in place where if a customer on your route canceled or put in a cancel request, you would get an automated text message immediately with that customer's information, name, phone number, address, that they're wanting to cancel. That way you could try to keep them from canceling, right? Try and talk them into it. So, I mean, they would literally just have you doing everything, route management. As a matter of fact, it was hilarious. I remember when I first got hired on, they refused to call the pest control technicians. They called them route managers, meaning, that you manage the route, you do a lot of the scheduling, you handle the callbacks, you try to sell, you try to upsell, you focus on, like we said, customer retention. You're a CSR, call center representative. Like, you were doing a lot. You weren't doing everything, of course. There's still, like we said, a lot of this technological stuff on the back end that you don't even see as a technician. But you do enough to, at the minimum, be dangerous. If you have the drive to want to learn and want to succeed, places like Terminix and a lot of other companies, like I said, not just in the pest control industry, I'm just speaking from my own experience from the pest control side of it. You can hop in and have a 6+ figure business definitely within a year. Even if you're very technologically handicapped, like you're not very smart technologically, doesn't, like you don't learn it easily, I guess, if that makes sense. You can still build a 6-figure company if you really try hard enough. You don't make excuses, I hate technology, but you don't do all that BS. Like, you're actually willing to learn. You can build a 6-figure business, even being technologically challenged, within, I would say, 2 years, in all honesty. Like, sure, it may take you twice the time, maybe even 3, but let's see. Previous jobs I would call out often. Haven't been here super long, only about 6 months, but I've only called out once because I was in the ER. Oh man, yeah, it's always fun stuff too. It's always overnight, right? Always overnight. Throws off your whole sleep schedule for like 2 days. Let's see. You're 20, by the way. Oh yeah, young like me. Yeah, I got in the pest control industry when I think I just turned 21, as a matter of fact. 20 or 21. I forget. Yeah, so you're like me. When I remember when I kept telling everybody that, I was going to start, because I told everybody, like, before I even got in to the pest control industry, like when I was applying for pest control jobs, I told my wife, who wasn't even my wife yet. She wasn't even my fiance yet. She was just my girlfriend. Hadn't even been pregnant with our first kid, nothing yet. Like, we were still within our first, year or 2 of being together. As soon as I got the call for an interview for the mosquito company that I worked at before Terminix, I literally just had not a pinpoint, business plan or anything, but I told my wife at the time girlfriend, told her, what I'm going to do. I was like, got it figured out. I was like, I'm going to do my time that I need to do in pest control. And when I say do my time, I mean, like, do everything I need to do to get certified. I was like, I'm going to do what I need to do to get certified. We're going to save up money best we can. Of course, life happens. It's impossible to save every dollar, but, save, and, start up the business. And, I could just tell there's just something about it whenever I started Googling, and plus, like I said, I have a grandfather in the Midwest who's had a pest control company since before I was born. And I was like, man, no offense to my grandfather, but if this dude can do it, anybody can do it. Like, it wasn't something I ever thought about doing or anything, but once I realized how much money can actually be made in this industry, and the margins on top of that, the margins in pest control are pretty damn good. People don't understand, a lot of these service businesses, the margins are very good, but what makes pest control very unique is how long an average customer's, I always call it the life expectancy of a customer. I'm sure there's a more, proper term or whatever for it. But how long our customer journey is much longer than like any industry out there. I would say the closest that comes, second might be, maybe pool service, depending on, where you are, like down here in the South, pool services. But even pools, like from what I understand, the average pool service customer is only a customer for a few months to a year before canceling, where the average pest control client is like 3 years. There's a lot of studies on it. Some say like 2 years, some say like some ridiculous number like 9 years. But, from what I understood, the average overall is about 3 years roughly, which is good, I'm going to have to get another water soon, which is good because, like we always break down the math. Do I have my whiteboard behind me, as a matter of fact? I do have my whiteboard behind me. It's not too close, though. Like we always break down, I'll just pull up my calculator. It'll be easier to do it this way. We always talk about math, right? This is what makes, like, pest control, like I even said, to even pool to a certain degree, pool companies, lawn care. Oh, when I say lawn care specifically, not like landscaping lawn care, but like mowing and lawn treatments, things of that nature. That's what makes these companies so unique, is how long customers will remain customers, assuming, of course, you have a low cancellation rate. You're not pissing customers off, this and that and the other. I mean, say that, your average take home, or not take home, but your average, net margin, quote unquote, is, let's just say a number super low, right? Let's just say $300 a year per customer. And let's say that average customer, like we said, is with you about, we'll just say 3.5 years roughly. That's $1,050, which again, we're keeping these numbers very low, very minimal. You get that $1,050. How many customers are you going to be able to get now off of that $1,050 if you're paying, for customer acquisition along the way? Well, our average cost per customer acquisition is a lot of times very low because we, utilize local SEO. And what do I mean by local SEO? Of course, which don't get confused by this terminology, of course. It's super easy stuff. Just means search engine optimization, right? Or, man, what am I doing? So if I type in, pest control, what the heck? Pest control near me, right? If I type in pest control near me, of course, you got the Google LSA up there. But then from there, you have your Google Map Pack. This is where we get, at this point, about 80 to 90% of our business from. Because if we take a look at Local Falcon here really quick. How's it going, Mr. Din? Lawn care and fertilizer clients, long time. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, them customers will last for a pretty long time usually. Definitely going to be a couple year long project and continuing after opening. I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. Same here, man. When I was 16, I tried to start up my own clothing line, but had no money, resources. Yeah, clothing is tough too. Very glad I found your channel for this though. Yeah, no, most definitely. Yeah, we sound very similar. If you scroll back far enough on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've done quite a bit as well. We've done things from, flipping books and things on Amazon, FBA, not drop shipping. I mean, literally going out sourcing product at like garage sales, bookstores, all this type of stuff. Packaging up in a box myself, labeling everything, sending it off to Amazon. Did that, reselling on eBay, all that good, crazy, fun stuff. To investing, not even investing, trading, day trading, swing trading in the stock market. to now, of course, running this pest control business. And, to a certain degree, the YouTube channel has kind of opened up a second business that I wasn't ever even really thinking about starting. Of course, I've had a lot of you guys over the last year specifically, reach out to me. Some of you have even called me, like on my work phone, submitted forms on my pest control website, all of that, asking for like consultations and, building websites and managing Google ads, all this stuff, which is why we created griffinbthomas.com recently. We're hoping to, kind of put the power back in, the quote-unquote small business owner of America, specifically service businesses, starting with pest control and, along the way. But what we were talking about real quick in terms of, we're breaking down the math, of course, of, how much more how pest control companies specifically, lawn care, all that, can become just total cash cows. And the multiplication factor just goes insane after your first few years. Us, for example, if you type in pest control service, each point on this graph, for anyone that hasn't seen this type of graph before, this is showing if you were standing in this spot right here and you type in pest control service, we would show up number one on the Google Map pack. Of course, everything's going to change. This is a 7 mile, I believe, 7 mile radius chart. 7 mile radius chart with a 15 by 15 grid. So there's 100 and is it 45? Let me do the math really quick. I would do it on our calculator down there, but don't want to mess up our calculation we got going. Oh, so it's like 225 points total. And so if it's 225 points total, it's less than a mile per dot here. But of course, everything's going to change, literally like dot to dot, if that makes sense. Just because, it's the internet, like nothing's going to be just green across the board or anything crazy like that. But like this right here, this is really good. Really, really, really good. So think about it. Within a 7 mile radius, within a 7 mile radius of me, there's probably about 300,000 to 500,000 people. Especially as you get in here towards Garland, parts of Dallas in here, even Wiley, Murphy, parts of Plano, Texas in here. A lot of people. 300,000 to 500,000, maybe putting it lightly. There may even be more, but I know at the minimum there's 300,000 to 500,000 people. So that means 300,000 to 500,000 people. If they type in pest control service in this area, they're more than likely going to see us at the top, which means that we're going to get that business. Forms submitted, all of that type of stuff. Those are what we call sweat equity leads or free leads. We're not really paying anything for them other than just doing what we know we need to do, getting reviews consistently or as consistent as we can, right? Pressing for those reviews, posting on our Google business profile pretty much every single day. If we type in again, come on now. Pest control near me, right? If we click on our business profile here, and we scroll down, oh, I've been slipping. I didn't realize I just ran out of posts. So I'm going to have to go, I'm glad I checked this out too. I'm going to have to go on Loomly tomorrow before I start celebrating the holiday and get some more posts scheduled. Because we have them scheduled out using a app called Loomly. Which is about $20 a month to use, and we will schedule these posts. As you can see here, we schedule posts virtually every single day. Like you just seen, occasionally we slip up and, I don't know where my picture is there, but we'll slip up occasionally and, miss a day. But, if you compare that to all of our competitors, let's see the last time this guy posted. Ooh, he's lost some reviews. He was in the 1 teens. That Google update got him. let's see, update. Oh, look at there. August 7th. August 7th. 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago now. Let's see about this company. And this is just from the post side of things, right? Okay, I see y'all. They're posting a little frequently, at least. The 20th, they seem to be posting about once a week, roughly, it looks like. Once every week or two, roughly. So not as bad. See about these guys. See how often they post. July of 2020, or no, June of 2020. Over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. See about these guys. These guys are new. So the fact that they're this high up, I bet you they're doing some good things. Let's see what they got going on. Oh, they don't even have any updates. I'm surprised they're this high on the list. Must be getting a bunch of reviews. It says 10 plus years in business, but their Google business profile just started showing up. So let's see. We'll just do one more for an example here. I compete with this company a lot on bids. Let's see. 2 days ago. Okay, so they're doing pretty good. Yeah, they're posting pretty frequently. They do a lot more wildlife than anything, but the heck was that? Thought that was my wife behind me at first. I can't hardly hear. It scared the hell out of me. Oh, it's my Google back there. I was like, what the heck? Anyways, yeah, these guys are doing pretty good. And that's also what I like about this tool, Local Falcon, is you can actually go in here. Let's see, reports, competitor reports. So when it does a scan report for your area, it doesn't just do, your specific one. What you'll do is I forget, how do I do this? I don't even look at the competitor report too often. Oh, here you go. View competitor report. So you click that button. Take a minute to load here. So of course, on our recent scan, we're popping up. This is showing like from top to bottom who is kind of, at the top of everything. Average rank per point, average top of rank per point, and then share of local voice, which means like how many of those dots like you're showing up not pretty much 20 plus in. So let's see, this one is number 2, and look at the drop off compared to everybody. So our average ranking per point is number 2. That means our average dot is showing number 2, which is great. You want to be top 3 ideally, and we're top 2, even better. The number 2 company is 7.27. Now this is taking the average of all of these scores combined. So you see down here, one of these are ranking 3.99, which is pretty good. But other than that, we are pretty much kicking everyone's ass in our 7-mile radius. So that's good to see, of course. Let's look at this one who's, averages 3.9. Now, given they are located like right here, so of course they're not going to rank as well the further up you go. Let's find a company that's pretty local to us. This one here. They're located right here in Wiley. Why does it say your rank 1? Oh, because it's showing as if we are them. Okay. I was so confused by that. Yeah, because see, we're number 2 right behind them where their location is. So yeah, I like hopping in here, diving in, looking at that kind of stuff too. I wasn't aware of the post aspect. Yeah, no, posts are something that a lot of people just don't even, some people don't even know it exists. But the other thing is utilizing them properly. Some people will use it just as like a Facebook post. It's not a social media post. It's designed for you to, put offers in, keyword stuff to a certain degree, target different, if you're like us, you live in a major, like DFW, LA, New York, that kind of area where there's a lot of suburbs that you want to target, making posts targeting each different little suburb, all that type of stuff, just to send Google those. Send them those signals that, like, hey, we service people out here. We service people out here. We service, like, you want to let Google know as much as you can, as frequently as you can. Plus, it just shows overall business activity as well. Like we said, if a company hasn't posted in 3 years and they haven't had a review in 1 or 2 years, what do you think Google's algorithm is thinking of that company, right? And hopefully the stream quality is still keeping up for you all right now. So we got one of y'all tuning in still on this late night. Yeah, it is 1:30 already. I'll probably start wrapping the stream up since I'm out of water anyways. But yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, there's so much that goes into this out here. And, that's why, most recently we created the griffinbthomas.com website. I named it that just because I had no idea what to name it. Interesting, I'm in a city of about 500,000 people. Yeah, and like I said, if there's any suburbs in that area, then, you want to make posts about those. I can show you real quick, kind of going back to ours. Oops. Just to give you an idea. Oh, what just happened? Way too far. So, like, here's an example of some of our posts. Of course, oh my gosh, that's not what I did, dude. You have your picture that, ideally is going to have the town and the service that you're calling out. And then early on, you want to call out again the service and town that you're trying to rank for. And then you want to ideally have some type of link that also, links back to that town as well, in the post as well. Same thing here. Pest control near you, so like pest control near me, and then where at? Garland, Texas. Quality pest control service in Garland. Pest control, Garland, Texas. Let's see, pest control services. And then, of course, our Pest Control Garland, Texas page. And then, of course, like I said, you can throw offers in here as well, to change it up, right? Little holiday picture, whatever the case may be. But then again, right back to, doing your usual stuff. Best pest control near you, Dallas, Texas. This one uses a little bit more emojis than I usually do. I think I created this one using ChatGPT, to be honest. Actually, I know for a fact I did, because this was for a Facebook post and I was lazy and just copy and pasted it to Google. But then, as you see again, linking to our Pest Control Dallas, Texas page. So yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but there's ways that you can shorten it and make it easier using a tool like Loomly, for example. Like I said, Loomly is something like $20-30 a month. And you can literally just go in here and schedule posts for, every single day of the month, of the year. So once you start compiling, I always suggest, it's a marathon, not a race, right? So I always suggest, do it in 2-week segments early on. Like, just worry about developing your first 10 to 15 posts. And then once a couple weeks go by, go ahead and create another 10 to 15 posts. That first month, you should not be reusing any posts whatsoever. Once you get into month 2, you can kind of cheat a little bit. You can take like 3 to 5 posts from the previous month and kind of plug them in. But then same thing, first 2 weeks, create some posts. Next 2 weeks, create some posts. And then as you start compiling up more and more, once you get through that first 2 or 3 months, you'll have enough where you're not going to have too much duplicate content or anything. Where Google really doesn't want duplicate content is where, you're literally just posting the same thing, like every single day or every single week. Like, they don't want that. If you can at least have a good rotation of every 30 to 60 days, and, you're even throwing in some occasional new content in there on top of it once or twice a week, they're not going to ding you for that, from my experience at least. Yeah, so I haven't posted in a few days. I'm going to have to create some posts and probably duplicate some posts from, November or something. And then that's the other thing that you do too, is just keep a mental track of like, okay, I got 2 or 3 months of posts created, let's go back 3 months. And then the next month, let's go back 3 months. And so on, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is a really good tool, and it's not just for Google. This stuff posts to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, and it can post even more. Like, say you have a video, you can post on YouTube, you can post on TikTok, you can do Instagram and Facebook Reels. Like, it's a very, very good tool, in all honesty, especially for the price. But yeah, and like I said, knowing that it's a lot of stuff, and a lot of people on YouTube specifically have been asking lately, and I've been saying no for the longest. A lot of people have been asking, do you offer any type of service or anything? We finally are going to start doing that for you guys, but even quote unquote better, in my opinion, than offering like services for you guys, because of course I got my own business I'm running. Like, I got my own shit going on. Like, ideally, I really don't even want to offer any type of service like, Google Ads management and all that type of stuff, since I have my own stuff going on. One thing that we're going to do as well, which I'll give you guys kind of a little sneak peek actually, is I'm actually in the process of like creating a full-on actual, like, from very, very start to, not finished, because obviously it's never finished, right? But from the very, very beginning to continual management, right? A course in terms of, I hate using the word course because so many people sell bullshit on the internet. It's just absolutely insane. Just trying to pull this up for you all. It's still very, very early on. Okay, I don't know why it's looking like that. Let's see. So this is kind of how it'll look for you guys. There's nothing in here right now. You can't even see it right now because I haven't even like begun to do anything with it yet. But you're gonna end up having, like, this is an example of just one course for Google Ads specifically. And it's going to say for pest control specifically, just because that's the example I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my own business for these specific courses. Because, like I said, I'm doing everything from my personal experience, my own business. It's not theory. Like, this is all stuff that I apply into my own business specifically. Which is why I've like refused to do any of this for the longest, is because, like, I hate the online culture right now where like everyone's got a course for something. Like, people will, for example, go to the gym for 3 months, lose like 50 pounds, and then they think they're some kind of expert, and they go create a quick website, throw a course up on, how to lose 50 pounds in 90 days. When they've done it once, then they gain that 50, 60 pounds, and, they gain it all back in 2 weeks, right? So I've been super skeptical to even do this just because of, how toxic the internet culture is. But, we'll get this going slowly but surely for you guys. I'll keep you guys posted in terms of when this type of stuff, is releasing. I'm not going to be like pushing on it or anything. I always like to kind of mention it, keep you guys in the know more than anything. And I want to make sure that it's going to be good and functional and not just thrown together. I've been working on like just this page here alone so far. There's, like I said, not a single actual thing even put into the course yet. Just this alone right here that you see, I've been working on for like a month already. So like it's not something that I'm just throwing together for you guys or anything. The website, I threw that together just because you have to have a website to put any of this stuff together. But yeah, like I said, just giving you guys a quick little sneak peek about that. This is for the Google Ads specifically. Eventually, we'll have one for like Google Ads. We'll have one for Google Business Profile Management. We'll have one for, email marketing, email and SMS marketing. We'll have one for website creation and management. Including things like, how to use Zapier. And again, a lot of this stuff I'm already posting like on YouTube. It's just, as I continue to post and go live and this and that, there's, over 700 videos now on the channel. So, if you want some place where everything is concise, packaged up well for you, where you can literally just kind of go step by step by step, you'll have that available as well. And then there's going to be other things in there too, like obviously you're going to have lifetime access to everything in the course, lifetime access to a private Discord, which will be a new feature once that comes about. 1 30-minute Google Meet call with me as well per month, just to kind of see how everything's going for you. Do you have any questions or anything that maybe either weren't included or you need clarification on, or you're having a new issue or something like that. Just, good little 30-minute call for you. What else is in here? Of course, what you will learn, all sorts of things, really. Setting up your Google ad, creating a lead magnet, learning the difference between exact match, phrase match, and broad match keywords, analyzing how much you should spend per day, how to manage your Google ad in the following days and weeks of first firing up your campaign, creating the headlines and descriptions, which pretty much goes hand in hand with creating a lead magnet, setting up your keywords, negative keywords, setting up your conversions using Google Tag Manager. That's something that a lot of people get kind of confused about, and it can be a pain in the butt too. Keyword analysis using Google Keyword Planner and using that data to bid on specific keywords versus just setting your budget in terms of what your max cost per bid is, max cost per click is going to be, and setting it and forgetting it. And then, yeah, of course, like I said, there's nothing in here right now. You can't even access it right now. But once that is up and whatnot, I'll let you guys know. And yeah, like I said, if for some reason, you're just that type of person where, like I say, you don't really have the time, or you think that, it's just something that you aren't going to be able to really do, then, we have this page as well that you can submit a form on. And we have pricing laid out where if you were to actually say, hey, we just want you to manage our Google ads for whatever reason, then, we have everything laid out there in terms of what you can expect to pay for that as well. Like I said, that's not even something I necessarily want to do, but, I'm tired of hearing about guys getting ripped off all the time too. So we're trying to take the power back for the people, from the people, to the people. because it's ridiculous. A lot of these marketing companies and stuff, they're straight up ripping people off, and they're not even giving good results too. It's like they will literally tell you guys that, hey, I know you can only afford $20 a day for ads, but hey, you know what, send me that money, $20 a day. We're going to run this 30 days out of the month. That's $600 a month. You go ahead and send me that $600 a day, and go ahead and send me like 500 on top of that, and I'll get you 5 to 10 new customers a month. And then you're like, okay, how long should everything take? Give me 90 days. That's 3 months. So now you just sent them $1,500. You may get a couple customers out of it if you're lucky. And then, of course, there's other companies where, of course, the more legitimate ones where, they have spending minimums where they're like, their minimums are just so high because, they want to make huge money, because all of it is percentage based, right? They, a lot of them will say, $5,000 minimum, $10,000 minimum, because they're going to charge you 20% of your ad budget, where 20% of $10,000, $2,000, right? So, like I said, ours is percentage based as well. We even want to do a consultation before even allowing you to sign up for that service, because we want to make, I say we, it's me obviously doing it all. I want to make sure specifically that you've done your own research, you've watched the videos that I've posted about Google Ads. That, hey, unless if you got a bare minimum $50 to $100 a day, doesn't have to be every day of the week. Like we've talked about, you can have an ad schedule, but ideally at least 4 days a week, right? If you can't afford bare minimum $50 to $100 a day, you can't afford advertising on Google in the first place, right? And if you can't afford that, then you're not going to afford to, quote unquote, pay me to manage it on top of that, right? So, there's a whole thing that's going to go into that as well. Like, we're not going to be all these other marketing companies that, just send me the money, I'll do it for you, that's that, right? No, it's going to be super involved, one-on-one. In all honesty, it should get to a point where within a year or less, if you wanted to, you could cut us off altogether and just continue to manage it from there, because it's going to be in your ad account. So, like I said, hopefully you guys will like the course once that comes out more than us actually doing the work for you. I think that's the best bet for you guys. Like I said, I am all about when you are first starting out, trying to be hands-on everything. But like I said, I know not everyone has that capability either, which is why I wanted to go ahead and, have that alternative in place as well. Message retracted. Hopefully it wasn't nothing bad. L Gamer. Let's see. Oh, what's going on there? I Magical. Got it right this time. You've been on these late night grinds. No. Some of it is just, I haven't been tired. I don't know if it's because I've been drinking more coffee than usual. Just black coffee too, nothing crazy. But I had some black coffee around 5-6 p.m., which was about 7 hours ago. So, I should be pretty tired by now, but I'm not. Probably doesn't help that I have this bright light shining on my face either. How you doing? Oh, I'm not doing too bad. Just probably gonna start wrapping up here within the next few minutes. It's going on 2 a.m. where I live, but I'm not doing too bad at all. Just wanted to hop on here. I was having issues trying to get the stream going again for back-to-back nights. We finally figured out though what's going on. Problem is, this microphone, I've been having it hooked up with a USB. And it does have an aux cord option as well, but I forgot that since I'm using my laptop as a PC right now, because I have it hooked up to my 27, 32, whatever the hell the measurement of that is, monitor. Man, I can't even get this hooked up now. Oh well. Since I have that all hooked up, I have to use a capture card to be able to show you guys my screen for these streams. So with that, for some reason, the USB will not work for this mic. So I'm gonna have to find my old aux cord, assuming I didn't throw them all away, because who the hell uses aux cords anymore? That's why I'm using my gaming headset tonight, because it has an aux cord and I have it hooked up. So yeah, we were dealing with that for like 40 minutes. It was a nightmare. Went live probably 4 or 5 times before finally getting it figured out. And it was so weird too, because it would work, but after like 10 seconds, the audio would cut off. It was the strangest thing. It was weird. I'm in the same boat, just have not been tired past few days. Yeah, and I mean, I like these days. I tell my wife, I call them positive momentum days. It annoys her from time to time, because I just get in a mode like this where I'm super like, not motivated, I hate that word, but just like super energetic, super like just focused on, the mission, the business, this and that and the other. And with that, it can be kind of unhealthy. Gonna keep it real with you all. It can get kind of unhealthy. I got a family, 2 little ones. I gotta help out the wife and whatnot. And sometimes I can just get so focused when I'm in these modes, and I just gotta explain to the wife that, this is part of being married to an entrepreneur, business owner that, is one, is success driven. Is there's gonna be seasons that I'm just super busy, and it's not that I'm pretending to be busy. Like, it's that I'm literally just super busy. Like, I got a lot going on, right? And that's kind of actually why I even hopped on tonight. Was I was like, man, I'm messing around with checking out our email marketing and SMS marketing stuff. I haven't even begun diving into some of the website stuff. We actually just got this Zap for Zapier, where someone submits a form on our site. They get entered into our MailChimp contact list for retargeting campaigns. Of course, the never-ending, local SEO. We haven't even taken a look at Google Ads since I've been on here as well. It's never-ending. I mean, and then, just to give you guys another idea of another thing that I was doing earlier, I'll pull up my Gmail just so you guys can see. Hopefully I'm not going to expose anything. Where's it at? Yeah, look at this. You know what this is? This is me waiting until pretty much the last day of the year to complete my CEUs, my continual education units, or whatever they're called, to keep my license intact. Because in Texas, I'm trying to find it here. In Texas, every other year now, you can. Oh, where's it at? No. Oh my gosh, why does the key keep getting stuck? Every other year in Texas now, ever since COVID, you can do your CEU trainings online. Trying to find this class for you all. Let's just see if I can do this, for example. I know I have to like copy and paste it, like the course code, to be able to log in. Registration. Oh no, I don't need to register. But this is a good website too, by the way, if you all end up needing to do your CEUs, and you can do them online. Where the hell is it? Thanks for shopping, blah, blah, blah. Where the hell is the link to sign in? Orders complete, auto reply, electrically report. Be right here, maybe? No, and that's not my password either, so don't get any ideas. Thank you for your. No, that's the same damn one. I'm trying to show you all the different courses, all of them that I waited till the very last minute to do today. I was doing that for like 3 hours today. It was ridiculous. I got so sick of it, I had to take a break and take donations to Goodwill before the end of the year. You know, all that good fun tax. Oh well, forget it. I'm not going to be able to find it for some reason. I don't know where it went. But yeah, I was doing that fun stuff as well today. Let's see. May I run the name of what I want to name my company by you? See, yeah, no, absolutely. I'll tell you when it comes to company names too, like I'm like one of the least picky people out there. I mean, look at how plain Jane my business name is. Preferred Pest Management, right? Let's see. Wife and 5 kids. Whew. God bless. Yeah, I got 2, and both are girls. And yeah, I can imagine. We just have to go to an all-day seminar thing for our license. Yeah, and that's how it is here essentially. So ever since COVID, they did it now where every other year you can kind of alternate. You could go in class, you know, in person every year if you wanted to, which is what I did the first 2 years. But then I learned that now you can literally do all of your CEUs online every other year. So like next year I'll go in person, and it's not even all day. It usually starts, the guy that I go to, he usually starts around like 8:30 a.m. roughly, and then you're usually out of there between like 12 to 1. It feels like all day, but yeah, you're usually out of there by like 12 to 1, where these online ones is kind of self-paced. I had to take 4 total classes on there, and it was only $80 too. I like that. That was only $80 because the in-person one is $125 that I go to. So you know, it saves a little bit of dough, right? And you get to do it at your own pace. You can literally exit out of the class. It's usually like 60, 70 slides plus 2 quizzes per course. You know, like earlier, I got done with 1, and like I said, we went to Goodwill to put in some donations. Came back, did another 2 of them, and you know, I just kind of had it running in the background while I was doing other stuff, and you know, I would say my total time actually doing anything with that was probably 2 hours. So I mean, it took longer than that, because, you know, like I said, I was doing other stuff. The slides wouldn't run automatically. You had to come back and click it. But my overall time actually focusing on anything was probably like 2 hours total for all 4 courses combined. So I like it. And I did like actually doing the quizzes on it too, because some of it was like actual reminders for me of like, oh, okay, I forgot about that. So you know, I get the point of it. You know, it's just good refresher. Let's see. Big gamer. So it's Dynamic Pest Solutions, DPS. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, Dynamic Pest Solutions. You could do that. You could do Dynamic Pest Control as well. The only reason that I even suggest like Pest Control over Pest Solutions, like that's one thing. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. Magical. If there's one thing that I wish I had done differently in terms of my name of my company, is I wish I had went with Preferred Pest Control. The reason that I didn't was because my grandfather's company's name in the Midwest is Preferred Pest Control. And the reason for that is more so from just an SEO thing. but it's really not that big of a deal, in all honesty, as long as it has, like the word pest in there, like yours does. Pest solutions, that'll be just fine. Like I said, it's not something that really needs to be overthought or anything. If you want to get that little extra advantage on the algorithm, you could do dynamic pest control. But like I said, I think it would be such a minor thing that it's not something that you need to take to heart. But I like that too. Yeah, it's good. 3 girls and 2 boys. See, at least you got a healthy little combo there. Now, me personally, I prefer 3 boys, 2 girls. But, boy, I tell you what, me and my wife, we constantly contemplate. We're like, do we really want to try for a boy? Because, man, if I have 3 straight girls with no boys, right. Let's see. I'm a service manager at the company I work for now. The few things I keep thinking about is I'm happy and love the company. I just keep wondering if I would enjoy being my own better. Yeah, and I mean, I'll say 5 kids, man. I ain't gonna lie. If I had 5 kids, it'd be tough. I mean, it took me getting fired when I just had 1 for me to, do what I had to do, right? I always knew that I wanted to do it, but once we had the kid, I was like, this kind of throws a wrench in my plans. Girl 16, the boy's 14, another boy's 14, a 9-year-old girl. So at least they're a little bit, not older, but like, out of that like little stage, right? Like mine is 4. Almost 4.5 already, but 4, and the other one is still like 7 months, like baby, right? Can't even hardly crawl. She's like a little waddler right now. So 16, 14, 3 teenagers, 2 that are, I don't even know what you call that stage, that like 6 to 12-year-old stage. What do they call that? Adolescence, maybe? I don't even know what they call that age group there. I know at like 12, you're kind of like preteen, 12 or 11, but I don't know what they call that age, like adolescence, maybe? I don't know. But at least you're kind of out of that stage where, like they're in school. I'm assuming you guys don't homeschool. I know a lot of people do. We probably will long term, but assuming like that, you're not like having to be super hands on. Like, how am I trying to explain it? I mean, you've been through it, so I'm sure you kind of get what I mean. Like in terms of constantly having to, be hands on, helping out, doing this and that and the other. I mean, you still have, there's plenty that you have to do still, obviously, with 5 of them. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's hard to say without being there, in all honesty. I know that, like, for me personally, now that I'm actually out here doing everything that I do, the kids do give me that added why. But, yeah, I mean, if you have it cush at the job that you have, then, it'd definitely be hard. Of course, you want to make sure you have all those ducks lined up in a row the best you can. You don't want to get overly caught up in, like, analysis paralysis where you're just, you've almost become like a watchpreneur, right? You focus so much on, okay, I've learned how to do this. I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to do that. Like, you're focused so much on learning everything that, like, you start to almost obsess over what don't I know, and you start to actually have a fear of what you don't know, because if you end up fearing too much of what you don't know, you'll never start, if that makes sense. But that is where also, in my opinion, the more of your ducks that you have in a row, in terms of, do you have a good little emergency fund to fall back on? Does your spouse, maybe work where, that'll at least cover your bills? Like, can you trim your expenses back to where, you could survive off maybe one income for a little bit, especially if, like we said, you have a emergency fund in place. And not just an emergency fund, but funding to actually invest in customer acquisition and things like that early on, to get the business jump started, right? I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I also want to build something that they could join me in. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I was even telling my wife too. I was like, I keep talking about how I'm building my business to sell, but I was like, but who knows? Chances are, you know, even though my two are girls, right? By the time they would be old enough to get into the business, they wouldn't be in the business in terms of like spraying bugs and stuff, right? They would be in the business where they would be either like CFOs, CMOs, chief marketing officers, maybe even CEO, taking over from me one day. I'm sure there's so many C blank O's, right? But my whole point is, maybe it's something that they, either both of them or maybe one of them wants to kind of play a role in it, whatever that may be. It's hard to say, the good old unknown, right? If we could just look into like a magic 8 ball and just see, show me 20 years from now, right? My wife gets so annoyed. I'll be like, man, I wish I could fast forward 10 years from now. She's like, why the hell would you want to rush time? And I'm like, I don't want to rush time. I just want to like have a travel machine, right? Where I could go and see and be like, oh shit, I need to fix that and fix that and fix that. So that doesn't happen, right? Yeah. Let's see. Someday sell them the business if they want it, or just take over. Yeah, exactly. I'll say, in terms of the selling them the business, be very careful with that. I don't know why it's doing that. The only reason I say be careful is I've watched a total debacle in my own family between my cousin and my grandfather with selling. Now, it's not to say that's how it's going to go for everybody, because my grandpa's a stubborn mofo, and my cousin was kind of, we'll just say soft in terms of how he went about the situation, to put it lightly. So those two, it obviously didn't end very well. But, as long as the two sides, it's all about communication at the end of the day. Regardless, and that goes with selling in general, right? Without good communication, a good lawyer on each side, hopefully with family being involved, it wouldn't come to that, but at the minimum, some good communication is a must, right? It really is just sports right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know how the sports are. Yeah, because I played a little bit of everything, but for me it was basketball, from like Pee-wee hoops is I think what it was called, from like kindergarten, first grade, all the way up through about, junior year of high school, I want to say. Or no, sophomore. I forget what year, somewhere around there. For me, if I could figure out how fast I could at least make what I'm making now. That $1 million question, right? Oh my God, that totally reminds me. Like speaking of like just money and numbers, what we were talking about earlier, my gosh, this was like 30, 45 minutes ago now. We were talking about like what makes the pest control industry, and not just pest control industry, but a lot of service industry, a lot of the service sector in general, like pest control, pools, like pool companies, even just standard lawn companies, mowing yards and all that type of stuff. The beauty is how long the customer journey is in terms of how long they're going to be paying you. I'm trying to look at my numbers here. 300. Okay, yeah. So we were doing numbers based on, say your average net margin on a client per year is just $300, and they're with you for an average of 3.5 years. That comes out to $1,050 in net margin, right? And if your average cost per acquisition of a customer is, let's just say, 150 bucks, right? So let's say you took all that net margin from a customer and just reinvest that into growing the company. That is 7 new customers with that 1,050 of net margin that you just gained. So you multiply that 1,050 over that next 7 customers at that average rate, that just turned into 7,350. So you can see how, now of course no one's going to invest all of their net margins into marketing and customer acquisition, right? But the point is with you being able to continually compound customers and compound that net margin, it makes it a lot easier to scale these type of businesses without having to put so much of your own personal capital up. Like we said, of course, when you're first getting started, you don't have a choice but to put up, personal capital. Of course, you could go get business loan if you wish, or, credit cards, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you're just robbing Peter to pay Paul regardless. Either way, your first X amount of customers are going to come out of your pocket. And then from there, you really have to know how to manage a budget and, keep a track of spending, all that type of stuff, so you can keep feeding the beast, is what we call it here. Keep feeding the beast, feed the marketing, feed this, feed that, to where the company can sustain itself and continue to grow without you putting personal money into it, right? Used car market just sucks right now. I know that's right. Oh, talking about for like buying a truck. Yeah, it's awful right now. Yeah, and depending on your state, you definitely can. Some states have the whole requirement where there needs to be, a divider between like you and the chemical. I know in a lot of states, and I think my state, Texas included, a trunk would classify as your divider because, the trunk, the seats, all that, like, it's a divider, right? A SUV, that'd be interesting to see how that would work, since there's no, I'm trying to think, most SUVs, the trunk kind of goes in with, the rest of the car, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, there's no separator like there is with a sedan, right? You know how a sedan, I guess you could push over the seats and that would break the barrier in terms of the visor or the separator. But with like vans and SUVs, it's all kind of opened up. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that'd be quote unquote legal or not. I know when I very first started, for my first week in business, I ran out of my little sedan. I actually didn't even get a customer that first week, thankfully, because I'd have been embarrassed to roll up in a little red, unmarked Ford Focus at the time before I sold that car and got my first truck. Because, I was being picky, obviously, about getting my first truck. Like, I had set standards in terms of, like, if I'm going to buy something, it needs to be this, this, and this. And it took me about 2 weeks, roughly, searching through hundreds of different listings, if not thousands. And then we finally found our truck in West Plano off of George Bush. I think their name is Auto Locators. In the Plano, Texas area, and got our truck for, what was it, like $13,000 with 90,000 miles on it. And this was like right as the car market was starting to kind of get stupid. Late 2020 is whenever we bought that truck that we still have today. Unmarked. There you go. Unmarked GMC Acadia. Yeah, and like I said too, if it's something that's super short term as well, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. What you could do is after you get your first handful of clients. Um, take some of the profit, put a down payment on a truck. You might just have to end up biting the bullet. Either that or finding something that's roughly 5 years old. Kind of like my truck, in all honesty. My truck, when I bought it, was actually, yeah, right at 5 years old. It was a 2015, and I bought it in 2020. Like I said, 90,000 miles on it, which was very low for a service truck. Less than, 5 years, 90,000 miles. That's about 15,000 miles a year, right? Or no, just over 15, I guess. Which, again, for a service truck, though, was not bad at all. Looking for a Colorado, 120,000 miles on it. On it, 13. That's kind of crazy. Because, see, I guess mine has 135,000, pretty much even. Because I remember I had briefly listed mine on Marketplace, 2015, 135,000 miles. I listed mine originally for about that same price just because I was like, hell, I'm seeing ones worse than mine for fucking 14, 15, so I'm going to go ahead and list mine at like 13, 14. And, man, I was getting some stupid low balls, like people offering like 7, 8. Someone even said like 6.5. I was just like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and keep it. Because, I still owe something like $6,500 on it anyways. It's got a brand new transmission with, a 35,000 mile warranty on it that I paid $6,000 for. Actually, over $6,000 for. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll at least keep it through that transmission warranty before I just, give it away. 2018. So I guess that makes sense. I'm still surprised they didn't take 10.5 though. Because, let's see, that's 2018, 120. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't take the 10.5. Then I watched your video. I'm guessing the video where the transmission went out. Then said if you have a Colorado with around 120. Yeah, because it was around 125, 130 is when that transmission went out. Said if you have a Colorado with 120, don't do it. Yeah, yep. It's still sitting at that lot. Shocker. That kills me too, because it's like, I know they have different metrics that they keep track of in terms of, what do they call it? Turning the lot or something like that, where, they have days where they need to get these vehicles off the lot. And the fact that, sometimes their own stubbornness will just get in the way of meeting those quotas. It's just funny to me. Yeah, and outside of that transmission debacle that we ran into, the Colorado hadn't been a horrible truck for me. I had this random little gas issue where when I'm filling up at the pump, I can't fill up on full speed. I have to fill up on that, that has that little lever where you can set it at different levels. I have to set it, if it's a 2-speed one, I have to set it on the first speed. If it's a 3-speed, I can, 3 different levels, I can set it at the second one as well. First or second will do fine. But if I ever try to fill up at like the full on, speed, it'll fill up for about 3 to 10 seconds and you can hear it. It almost sounds like the gas is trying to like come out, and it'll, set it off, and you have to kind of like sit there and babysit it. That is the only annoying thing, and that just started within like the last year or so too, and it hasn't caused any issue whatsoever. It's just, like I said, pain in the butt. It kind of makes it, take a little bit longer to fill up. But outside of that, I really haven't had that big of an issue. Just the transmission going bad, which I should say too, the transmission went bad because there was what the guy called a slow drip, because he was like, man, did you not know that like you were out of transmission fluid? He was, I'm surprised you made it here. I was like, and this was a guy who wasn't even the transmission guy. This was just my local shop. The same company that I actually treat for rodents now, who found me on my Google ad, funny enough. They were like, we're surprised this truck made it in. Like, I mean, your transmission's, it's probably shot. We suggest trailer, have it on a trailer and to the nearest transmission shop. And the actual transmission guy was like, so you didn't, he pretty much said the same thing. Like, so you didn't know that it was dripping? And I was like, no. He was like, oh, you had what we call a slow drip. I think that's what he called it, like a slow drip, slow leak, something like that, where you pretty much can't tell until it's too late. He was like, how long were you feeling? Because what made me even take it in the first place was I noticed sometimes when I would just go to take off, I would have like no acceleration, and then all of a sudden it would accelerate real hard. And I was just like, what the hell? I was like, something's going on. And after like a week or so of it doing that and slowly getting worse, I was like, I need to take it in. And he was like, yeah, I mean, if you had brought it in the day it started, you may have had a chance to just change a couple things on this transmission. But he was like, but the fact that you drove it for a week, he was like, yeah, everything. He sent me pictures of it. Everything was just, it was ridiculous. There were metal shavings all up in it. It was ridiculous. Long story, I know, but it like I said, gotta love it, right? I even had cash to pay them. And that's the funny thing, too, is I'm hearing anymore, a lot of them don't even want you to pay cash, because I guess they, get a little incentive for, doing the financing option or whatever. It's just, it's the greed is getting a little bit out of control, not just in the car industry, but like just across the board. Like, people have gotten so greedy that they're willing to steep to any level. Like, the ethics and the just common sense is like completely out the window. Like, why would I let someone walk off my car lot and not even, I'm assuming they haven't even reached out to you, because I mean, you said that truck is still sitting there. Like, why would I, one, let someone who is willing to pay for this today walk off my lot, let alone not reach back out to them when I can't sell this vehicle, when I know they got the cash, all because I know that I can get paid more if they finance. Or, I simply am just too prideful and I think my vehicle's worth more than what it is, right? And like I said, it's not just the auto industry. I mean, it's getting to be every industry across the board. Like, the greed is just getting out of control. Everyone, like, I get to the point where, people are almost like offended when, they'll be like, oh, well, you can do Klarna or whatever it's called, Afterpay and this and that. I'm like, I don't do that shit. I'm like, if I can't, why would I do that? I was like, if I can't afford to pay for it, I'm not gonna, if I can't at least put it on my credit card that I can pay 30 days later or whatever the case may be, why would I put some, Afterpay BS? I was like, that's the dumbest thing you could do. And people will just be like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, why would I do Klarna on a $20 water bottle, right? Like, I see they do it for the dumbest stuff anymore. That's crazy. No one is called. And this was in October. Like, so it's been literally over 2 months now. That's crazy. And it's the end of the year on top of that. Wow. It almost makes you want to kind of go back in there and be like, hey, remember me? And then, oh, yeah. And then they kind of get excited and be like, oh, no, not 10,500 now. 10,000, right? You just kind of want to start to troll them at that point. Yeah. 8,500. Yeah, you just want to go in there and be like, yeah, remember that? Well, now we're going to throw some stupid tax in there. You're going to pay some stupid tax for not taking my original offer. Let's see, I'm done with that. 61%. 38%. Not bad. There should be a way. There we go. Didn't open. So since none of these people didn't open it, which is almost half. Ooh, I didn't realize that. Or no, okay, wrong dude. Okay. I thought this was a customer who was supposed to be on like a do not contact list. But because I swore I deleted that customer out of, his last name was McKee though. So it's crazy. I still remember that. This was like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. And I still remember this dude's full name to this day. I could literally drive to his address without even pulling up the address. Like, even though I've only been there once ever, it's you just get some of those. There should be a way that I can. Let's do this. This will not open. I have a fairly aggressive plan. If I do go off on my own, I have about 15 family and friends that said they would sign up for a lease first year. Another 10 that are maybes. That's a good start. I also don't remember, and in all honesty too, bro, or ma'am, I know for a fact you're a dude. Never know in today's world. If you could even make it more enticing for them, offer them some kind of crazy deal to go ahead and just pay, the ones that said for at least a year, get them to pay for a full year up front. That way, again, talking about feed the beast, right? Feed the marketing and all that. That can literally jumpstart, because imagine, I have no idea what like the pricing is in your area. But let's just say, for example, you get them to pay you like $400 for the year, right? And we do quarterly, by the way, because I saw you mention that as well. For the most part, we do it based on each customer's needs, but 80-90% are quarterly. But let's just say, these are quarterly services, about $100, per service. Let's say they do pay for the year. You said about 15, so we'll just say 15. Let's say somehow, I doubt all of them are going to pay for the year, but let's just say they all did. That gives you $6,000 right from the get-go to go ahead and jumpstart, your marketing efforts and whatnot. So just something to think about with that. And who knows, you may even offer them even cheaper. Like I said, that was just an example. Let's see. I would do bi-monthly, skip January, February, unless they have an issue because cold snow up here. Okay, yeah, and I think my cousin in the Midwest does something kind of similar. He was talking about even just doing a 3 times a year treatment plan instead of quarterly, like they would do, March or April, something like that, March, April, and then somewhere around July or June, July, like I said. So probably March, June, September, something like that, or April, July, October, somewhere around there, and that's in the Midwest. Oh yeah, that's right. What is going on with this keyboard tonight? When I started out doing termite work until about a year down the road. Did you get any lawyers when you started doing anything like that? No. Our contracts are all on Gorilla Desk, and they have been like super lawyer, jargon filled. Not overly jargon to where the customer doesn't even want to sign it, but very straightforward and safe, if that makes sense. From the termite side, from everything side, but from termite side especially. Exactly. Yep. As a business owner, entrepreneur, um, you're capped by your mind at the end of the day when it comes to earning potential. Exactly. Do you still recommend Gorilla Desk? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, whenever you decide to, um, you know, hop out on your own, we now have like an affiliate link or whatever you want to call it. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can go in here and show you. I think, let me see. Trying to show you what I'm talking about here. If you go into the description box of the video, you'll see something that says my LinkTree. If you click that, you'll see in there a link that says like sign up for Gorilla Desk or get Gorilla Desk 2 weeks free, something of that nature. Gorilla Desk has hooked you all up with like an affiliate link or whatever you want to call it, where if you use that link, they'll give you 2 weeks of Gorilla Desk Pro, not the basic version, the Pro version, the $100 a month version, for free for 2 weeks, just to, try it out essentially. And of course, since it's an affiliate link, being completely transparent, all that good stuff, if you kept the Pro version or whatever, they give us like a small, I forget what it comes out to, like 10 or 20 bucks per month, as long as you're a customer for that. Again, nothing crazy. A lot of people actually like to use affiliate links because it, is a way for you to like support the channel or whatever. But it is cool that you at least get all those features of Gorilla Desk for free for 2 whole weeks. Because I think 2 weeks is definitely a good amount of time to learn the platform. A lot of companies a lot of them for pest control won't offer anything. But a lot of them, even if they do, they'll only give you like a week and just not enough time to really learn a platform or anything. Where with 2 weeks, that kind of gives you a lot of time to dive in there. It's not rushed or anything. Gives you 2 full weekends on top of that, just to kind of dive right in there. And you can even chat with their support too. Usually, don't hold me to it, but I know when I first signed up 3 years ago, I think the guy who was helping Chris running at the time, his name might have been Blake. I forget off the top of my head, in all honesty. Whoever it was, they called me up and, made sure that I was on the right path with it, made sure I had no questions, like they were super customer service oriented, which was great as well. And obviously we haven't turned back since. And they haven't ever raised the price. That's one thing that I like the most too, and I hope to God that they never do. Obviously, at some point with inflation and everything, who knows, maybe at some point they're going to have to, but I love that, their prices have like never changed. They keep making it better and better. And don't get me wrong, like there's still things that they need to get right, especially on the new dashboard, for example. We were actually talking about this in the stream the other night, because, I was trying to show you all like some numbers about, recurring customers and all that type of stuff. And we were very, very limited in the dashboard, because like things just weren't really lining up at all, to be honest, when we were looking specifically at like our, recurring services, right? Total active services, recurring services. It was saying, 21 inspections, which, that, I don't know at the end of the day, but like obviously we've got more than 11 quarterlies. We definitely got more than one that's paying per year for quarterly. Just some things aren't really adding up. Like this is an all-time one. We did one based on, this year. Just the numbers don't really add up at all. It's funny though, because like the monthly, in terms of, I would say that this is probably right in terms of our monthly kind of like recurring income. Like if we were to like not sell anything, like our minimum lowest month would be right around probably 7,200 to 8,000 maybe. I mean, I'd have to go check on it myself, but the only other thing that I could think in terms of organizing that is to start tagging all of our customers. But now we've got so many customers that I'm like, man, I don't want to have to go in there and tag everything. Like, I feel like just simply having the jobs alone, everything should be sticking. Like, it's just weird. I don't, So like even this, like that doesn't. Is this saying like this is what I've sold? Like I mean that's saying like I don't get it. Like there's something. That's where like me, I need to reach out to their support and you know see kind of what it exactly means, and if that's not what this is, like if this is not a space for me to see, you know, how many active customers that we have for each individual thing, then can we add that, please? Like that'd be awesome. Like I said, but like there's things that they can definitely work on, but they're always improving it. This whole dashboard didn't even exist like a month or two ago. Like this whole thing is a new feature they just added recently. For the longest, all you really had was your reports tab, and you would just be able to go in, look at sales forecast, total sales, you know, pretty basic stuff overall. Where now they're starting to get, you can tell they're starting to get more analytical, and that I really, 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 really like. I love that they're getting more analytical, and hopefully, like I said, like everything else that they've touched, you know, hopefully it'll get better and better with time. Especially if yeah, and that's the thing. Like for me, I only had about 5 to 10 customers whenever I made the switch, because there for like my first couple weeks, I just used Square appointments because I had a Square website, and then I used Square appointments. And after like less than a dozen customers, I was like, I ain't doing this. I was like, I need to just pay the $100 a month for Gorilla Desk. Like if there's one thing I have to pay for, it's Gorilla Desk, right? Use QuickBooks? Yes, I do use QuickBooks. That is one thing that I don't do with Gorilla Desk is link my QuickBooks. It kind of made a weird accounting issue for me, but I do use QuickBooks as well. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if Gorilla Desk can keep improving from the analytics side of it, it's going to be a game changer without a doubt. That's the other thing I worry about is making a website. Yeah, and like I said, the whole website side of it, it's really not overly complicated. Like I said, you could pay someone like a Gorilla Desk to kind of like set it up for you. Usually they want to set it up and host it for you as well. They're hosting, say you had them just set up the website and then host it for you, which comes with their own you know, form, the instant price tool or whatever. I'm trying to think. That service, of course, you have the cost to build the website and everything. But then, if I remember right, the hosting service is something like 250 bucks a month, something like that. If you were to like go with them for that, if that makes sense. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's another option as well. That's one thing that like I technically do offer to do, but it would take pretty long for me to build a legitimate website for anybody. So that's why like I don't really advertise that that's something that I do. Like I said, technically I could. It wouldn't be cheap, and it would probably take upwards of a month for me to do, just because of the time that it takes to kind of get everything set up. Um, and then from there, it's also, you know, the hosting cost of it as well. Let's see. We need your help. Stay to vote for preferred password. Come on now. don't get is why it shouldn't be trying to send to all of these. Let me see, finish later. No, I did not end up making it to Pest World this year, unfortunately. Because of the transmission going out on the truck. Yeah, no, I was not, I wasn't very happy, to say the least. This is kind of frustrating because I'm pretty sure I got a notification from MailChimp about an easy way to do this. At least I thought there was. Maybe it's just one on my phone. Like from the app. Oops. Let's see. I don't know how I want to do this because all campaigns. Had some good reviews the past couple weeks. Yeah, yeah, especially for it being slow. Some of the reviews have came from current customers who got the. That's another thing that Gorilla Desk has is when you close out a work order, it will send them an email. Asking them to leave you a review. Supposedly, they're working on a text version of that as well, which will be awesome. For them to have that on there. But that makes it just that much easier to, for the review velocity, review generation side of things. I always hate doing this because I don't know what the heck pest control would fall under. Would it just be professional services? I think that's what I usually end up putting it on is professional services. Yeah, I've been trying to push my guys to get them. We did okay at the beginning of the month, but since the 17th, nothing. Yeah, a lot of times, oh man, forgot headset. Um, I a lot of times will go through spurts where like, man, I can get like, 10 to 20 in a week. And then, I might go a week or two without getting anything. I think the longest recently that I've gone without getting anything was like 2 months. Do not like to go that long, of course. Close, but not quite. Oh, so you're thinking about going out March of 24, or would that be March of 25? Yeah, 24. That would be pretty soon. Out of Iowa. That's right. You're in Iowa. I'm trying to think. Bigger company. There's actually Preferred Pest Management up there in Iowa. I heard. Like, I see their stuff online from time to time. This is where you get creative here. What the hell? Why is it not saving? That's weird. No, there's not a sale. My goodness. This keyboard is starting to kind of piss me off a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if it's because it's wireless or what. I kind of just want to import my old email. Let's see. Yeah, they are good friends. Oh, I've been in the industry almost 9 years. Can see it in your face. Oh, the owner of the Preferred Pest Management in Iowa. Yeah, Brand's good too. Yeah, if I remember right, they don't really do a lot on their Google Business Profile up there. If I remember right, though, their website does pretty good on the SEO side of things. I was just looking at my test email really quick. Actually, let's do hours. And then turn on. I wonder. Yeah, you can see I started doing something with this a month and a half ago and just never messed with it. Um, yeah, I'll have to check back in tomorrow, or I guess later today, and see if this actually is going to send, or if this is something that I would have needed to set up when I set up the first campaign. Like, I'm wondering if it is set up where it's going to be able to see already that, hey, this campaign ran, I forget how many days ago now, like 2 days ago, and there's like 100 and some on contacts who didn't open it. So, starting at 8 a.m., let's go ahead and send this email out to those customers. Or is it expecting me to, send that campaign now, for example, and then if they hadn't opened it an hour from then that would, starting at 8 a.m., start sending out. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how. This is my first time doing any of these like automated journeys like this. This is what you really pay for right here. Setting up these automation things, just like with Zapier, right? You're setting up different little automations to where it just makes your life easier and, turns that client list into, either advocates for you or returning customers. I'd be curious what my company I work for now does. You said it's a bigger company, so I could probably find out pretty quick. Oh, it's right there. I didn't realize you would put the name right there. Would be cool. We'll see how it works. Oh, talking about the email? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to do like a update or something, or bring it up in the next stream. Let's see. So, Miller. Dude, my God, this freaking keyboard's about to get returned. Oh, do they got multiple locations? Well, you said it's a bigger company. Hey, y'all got if this is a nationwide company, which it looks like it is, or at least regional, if nothing else, your all's location in Iowa, 700 reviews. That's pretty damn good. Ohio, Casey, and Iowa. Yeah. The Ohio location must have not. Kansas City, Iowa. I see Omaha, Nebraska too. Well, some of these may not be you all, but let's see what we got here. 5 days ago, you all did something. Looks like you all post about every 5 days. Well, a little bit inconsistent. But I mean, they do at least post. That's a big thing. They could get if they could just get a little bit consistent, like use a post scheduler, it would just help them that much more. Bro, that's hilarious. I used this same picture on an ad like a long time ago. You can tell they're using Canva, which is weird though because oh, I know what it is. They haven't figured out how to what specific setting to use. That's why they have these borders on some of these pictures. Was that their last post? Huh. Let's see about photos. Looks like they just posted their original photos. This is where also a lot of companies are messing up. Google is liking for us to post photos now, apparently. Photos and ideally videos. I see what you mean. Well, you did get one about a week ago. 2 weeks ago. But I see what you mean, though. For the most part, it's been like 2+ weeks since you all got any reviews. But hey, that 1 week one, that one's gonna help you all. At least buy you another, it'll at least get you through the, beginning of the year, essentially. Well, duh, we only got 1 day left. Services, ideally they would go in here and put descriptions in all of these services, and obviously take out the services that don't apply to you, because sometimes Google will plug in their own suggested services, even if they don't relate to what you all do at all, which it looks like they've done a good job, I believe. Maybe cleanup might need to go. I don't know. Maybe it's something y'all do. I hate that Google does that too. It's complete BS that they can just throw random stuff in your business listing like that. Yeah, I mean, 701 reviews and you've got very, very, very little 1 stars. So that's, yeah, no. I mean, it definitely seems to be a good company, like, to work. Or at least, like, good company in terms of the work that the employees are doing. Like, y'all aren't pissing off customers left and right or nothing. And, yeah, their online presence doesn't seem to be too bad from the Google local side of things. The classic save $50. See, they got a blog. Well, what the hell's the difference between blog and pest articles? That'd be interesting. Pest free Christmas. Let's see if they have silo structured their website. Areas we service. I bet you they have. Let's take a look here. No, they haven't. That's surprising. Let me see. Bruiser, Kansas City. So they have not, their website is not silo structured, which is interesting. What we mean by that is, you know, you have your, for example, homepage. So go homepage, areas we service, / Iowa, or, you know, / Missouri, and then / Kansas City. And then once you click on Kansas City, you know, like we said, / pest control Kansas City, and then it would break down one last step to the different type of pests. So it'd be homepage, / areas we serve, / Missouri, / pest control Kansas City, / you know, American cockroaches. It just organizes the sitemap, and it's supposed to give you like SEO, technical SEO advantages. How much of one, the verdict is still out. You know, I'm doing my own thing with silo SEO on our website, but there's just been a massive algorithm update lately, so I'm doing, you know, I'm doing some things trying to recover some rankings. Speaking of which, that's something we can take a look at really quickly before I go ahead and hop off. Because I forgot, my dad is in town and we're supposed to meet for breakfast tomorrow. Oh, good morning, sunshine. Let's see. Gonna be drinking some espresso here in a few hours. Hell, I might as well just stay up at this point. Let's see. Well, we have had a little boost all of a sudden after making some adjustments. But our rankings have tanked since the update about a month or two ago. You can see, I mean, our average ranking per page was around 30. You know, 40 to 30, which for an overall website with 200 plus pages is great. But from that all the way down to like 60s, and you know, at the low of lows, like almost 70. But now we're all the way back up to 60, it looks like. Last updated 25 hours ago. Come on now. Stuff's usually pretty good about updating like every 10 hours or so. So on the 29th, our average position was 13, but only 4 total impressions. What the what? I was just making sure there wasn't any errors or anything, because I've never had a day that low. I'll just have to see. Surely it's going to update, like, I don't know, any second now. Any minute now, I guess. Yeah, I always like to filter out all of the worldwide BS and just go straight to US. Let's see. Omaha. Okay, the Omaha, Nebraska one. Does that make it better? Oh, were you talking about the the silo structure of the website? I mean, like I said, yeah. I mean, the verdict's kind of still out. I always like to judge everything myself, of course. I literally overhaul my entire website to make it more silo structure friendly. It's not perfect or anything. There's still some pages that aren't like silo structured, but wait a minute. Murphy Pest Control. It's too bad there's not more searches on that, because apparently we are still popping up pretty good for the most part for that search term. The two Murphy pages too. Good to see that that page recovered immediately. I hate algorithm updates so much. And this Richardson page, I don't know what the hell is going on with it lately. I mean, it's freaking. I mean, you can see what happened. We got a massive influx of impressions per day, but with that, it tanked our average ranking. So, I don't know. And again, that's algo update. But what's weird is you can see when the impressions dropped, the position started to recover almost immediately. Ideally, we would just kind of close that gap, and then they would start going, up together, and then of course clicks would then follow. Yeah, this page has been all over the freaking place the last year. That's one thing I definitely am still trying to figure out, is more so the website SEO. Website SEO is honestly a giant pain in my balls. The Saxy page is doing decent. Freaking dropping off all of a sudden, but still doing pretty decent in terms of overall ranking. That's not what I meant to search for. See, for that search term, we've dropped. A lot more impressions, but a worse ranking for that search term. That's hilarious. Yeah, I get a lot of Terminex and Orkin ads. religiously. Surprised raccoon control. I was gonna say I'm pretty surprised raccoon control popping up at all because I don't have like any pages made for raccoon control right now. Yeah, I'll have to keep you guys updated on kind of overall website SEO journey. Um, that's one of the other things that are going to be kind of overhauled this winter is the never-ending SEO battle. As soon as you think you start to get stuff figured out, Google goes, gotcha. So yeah, no, yeah, I was not planning on being live for 3 hours or whatever it turned out to be, but we've gotten some stuff done this evening, or I guess this morning. What's going on, Salvador? Wow, Griff, why are you awake? Get some sleep. Hey, what's that old saying? I'll get enough sleep whenever I make it to heaven, I'm sure. Yeah, what time is it out there, Salvador? Is it 1:30 or is it 12:30? I forget. West Coast. I forget. Are they 2 hours behind Central? Let's see. You got Mountain Time. I think you're just 2 hours behind, if I remember right. I think it's about 1:30 out there. Yeah, 1:30. Yeah. So what are you doing up then? Yes, it's pretty late out there too. Still. I need to head to bed as well. 3:30 is a bit latest I've been up. Hey, welcome to the old business life, as I like to call it. Yeah, that's why I was just about to crash. Yeah, I can feel my coffee from earlier this evening around 6-7 o'clock starting to finally wear off a bit. And like I said, we got some things done this evening. That's mostly why I hopped on here. I was like, man, I'm gonna be working anyways. Why not go ahead and do a little quick. It was supposed to be a quick stream, but shoot, how long have we been on now? Like 3 hours, and I've been at it for 4. I was having issues for about 40 minutes with the freaking stream, but we finally got everything figured out. Just need to get an aux cord for this microphone because the USB option is no longer gonna work with our current setup that we got going on up here in our new office upstairs. But yeah, no, I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. This live, of course, will go to a video format. Chances are, as long as this live is, I'm probably going to attempt over the coming weeks to kind of, I'll have to download the video and kind of split it up into segments where I see fit to hopefully, create some shorter form content out of it that'll hopefully help some people. Because like I said, we did accomplish some things today. We, created some zaps on Zapier to have when forms are submitted on our website, go into MailChimp immediately for retargeting, for email marketing and text message marketing. What else do we do? Man, like I said, we did a couple things. Oh man, we didn't even touch on Google Ads or anything either. We just got done looking at Google Search Console a little bit. We set up a retargeting for customers who didn't click on the email from earlier this week. That'll be going out, we're thinking, tomorrow, assuming it's all set up right. Oh yeah, and then we were mentioning, how I'm slowly but surely in the process of creating some, dare I say the word that I hate to use with toxic internet culture, courses for people that want to, run Google Ads. We're going to do a local SEO one as well. I've had just enough of you guys, asking about hey, can you provide this service? Can you do consults for this and that and the other, where I was like, man, you know what? Let me just because I always say, it's all on here on YouTube. Not even just my channel, but all over YouTube. But for people who just kind of want it specifically for pest control, concise in one area. I'm hoping over this winter, over the next month or two to at least get a couple of quote unquote courses set up for people that want that. And then we are offering Google Ad Management as well for those that just don't want to do any of it themselves and would rather just have someone manage it but not pay an arm and a leg to do so as well. So if you want details on that, you can check it out. I think there's a link down below, as well as in the LinkTree, of course, as always, the griffinbthomas.com as well. But see you later. Enjoy the convo. Yeah, no, it was awesome having you tonight. Yeah, it was a great conversation. And like I said, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I don't even know how many of y'all we got. It shows we got like 2 of y'all in here still right now. Hopefully y'all, like I said, as always, enjoyed the stream. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I appreciate that so much, and it helps other people that are just looking for similar content find the stream, find the channel, all that stuff. And if you're not already subscribed, I know you two who are in the chat who are in the chat tonight were already subbed, but if anyone's seeing this and not already subbed, go ahead and sub, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. And if you have any questions or anything after this goes from a live to a video, don't hesitate to shout it out in the comments down below. Of course, you can join our Discord group, Facebook group. Those are free to join. They combine for almost 400 members across those 2 groups combined, so a lot of networking opportunities with like-minded individuals. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. If I don't have time to hop on or post anything tomorrow, then or later today I should say, then have a happy new year, and I will see y'all in 2024. Take it easy, everybody.